What's up, y'all? We are back for another episode, and this time we are headed in to League 6. This is going to be a first time for me. I've never done a Leagues before, and we are finally diving into this thing, and I am so stoked. After running through Gridmaster, we really kind of got a feel for what the acceleratedness is, if you will. It's a fun game mode. It's not XP waste. I mean, I guess it is, but so is everything. It's just worth it. So if you guys are trying to dive in and you're trying to learn something, now's the time. Just do it. It's super easy. As you can see here, you don't need to read any of this information. But I did want to point out, I'm starting this league off with using Endless Harvest. My goal was to see how far we can get while being super AFK. Just so you guys know, we do this as a parent. We work a full-time job. RuneScape's something that we play a couple hours in the evening, but if there's a way to kind of help out our grind during the day, that was kind of my goal and my hope here. So we wanted to make sure that we were just tackling this and like getting the experience where we could. So one thing I did decide to do here, my buddy actually decided to help me out. He had a couple of cool ideas by following a guide, and I figured my whole goal is to kind of freehand this and learn it. But I figured, why not get ourselves started off on the right footing? Kind of get out of that beginning, kind of learn what we're doing here. And so there's a guy that put out a guide online, Faux, Fox, whatever, one of the guys that are sweats. And so we followed this guy just to try to get a bunch of good basic points here in the beginning. I definitely recommend it. I will post it down in the um, info box if I can for you guys. And then, yeah, I would just follow that for a little bit. It's not something that you need to keep up with the whole time. I definitely did not, but I definitely did want to get a good starting off foot and then just kind of have fun with it. You know, that's similar to what we did in Gridmaster, except I don't think we really had any guide in Gridmaster like we did here. So I'll definitely get that posted up there for you if you guys want to follow along. It's just another link that somebody else sent me. So click on that, figure out what you guys are doing, gives you a direction to head in. Now, the other thing I will say is that as you're doing this, if you haven't gotten started yet, it might be a little bit easier because some of this stuff, man, as you can see while we're thieving from these cake stalls, people are stealing this stuff left and right. It makes me so excited for when we get Lacrity, last whatever, the thieving relic later on. So, but we've gone back and forth today. We've gotten a couple of different relics going. Definitely had to make some tough decisions, and I think that's what makes League so much fun. But I'm really stoked with where the build is going. I've noticed where we're going to have a couple pitfalls here and there, but I think that we can overcome them. But stay tuned, check it out, and let's see what all we can get up into this. Now, one of the things I really wanted to get out of the way was that tier 2 relic. I was going back and forth on what we could use, and while I was doing AFK, we ended up getting it halfway through the day. But really, what I settled in was going for the hot foot. If that's something you're going to want to do, I definitely would encourage, pushing this because the faster you can get that, the faster you can have those boots on, the quicker you're going to be able to get to actually gaining that agility experience because there is so much running around as you guys are seeing here. We literally were just running across this daggum map, and I'm like, dude, if that was a tier 1 relic, we would be level 99 so fast, which is probably exactly why it's not. But even the fact that it's a tier 2 relic is freaking sick. Like, we are going to be getting this experience for agility so much faster, which that's actually what's going to lead us into wanting to go with the map of Alacrity, because I think once we're getting all this just random agility experience from running around, that will eventually lead into being able to use all of those shortcuts. Now, one of the things I was worried about was a little bit of the shortcomings here with those boots not being useful later on. Hopefully by then I'm 99, I won't really need them. It is what it is. So, a lot of fun there. When another tidbit that I did pick up was when you were selling things back into the general stores, make sure you were selling one at a time. You can literally just click on like sell one and then just pop that over and over again. Click on the bottom right one. and then it'll just fill from the top. That way you're going to be selling those things at top profit every single time. You don't have to like bounce in or out or anything like that. It's pretty simple. Takes a few extra seconds. It's really nothing to hurt you or anything like that. But yeah, definitely a good tidbit there. If you guys have not done anything yet, make sure that you are just maximizing profits, because if you're not going to take the abundance relic, money's going to be something you're going to be trying to find, and that's going to be the best way to kind of get your money at the beginning of the game. And honestly, it's good enough that I haven't had to do anything since then, and I've just been able to keep up with doing random things in the journal store to eventually we went and did a little bit of gem mining. So right here, this is where I'm talking about gem mining. You want to go over to Alderaan. Make sure you use the fairy ring to get over there, but you literally start off with your sapphires, cut them, sell them back. We did this until we hit level 71 crafting. Just wanted to make sure that we were squared away, but mainly wanted to make sure we had tons of money. Then after that, that's where you actually see we finally got to the point where I said, let's go ahead and unlock Hotfoot. We've got that way earlier today, and then you can literally just run around all day long. Now, one of the other things that you want to do is make sure if you were mining, you can get that rune pickaxe up here in Camp Torum. So you get your rune chopping axe from the fairy ring and going in and fighting that little tree druid thingy. Rune pickaxe, you're going to buy that over in Camp Torum. You can also go to Ironvale, where the Veil Totems game is, and you can buy a adamant axe there. I had to go digging around to try to find that for a little bit, but we did eventually find that also. So lots of different ways that you can kind of grow it, and just having that cash flow really helps out with buying stuff, buying runes, whatever you're going to have to end up doing there. So make sure you're working on that. You know, it's all a part of the game, just trying to figure out what the heck you're pulling out here and trying to get, right? Eventually, we're going to get to bossing, and that's really where this is going to be. But my whole goal here is to make sure you guys know, super easy, stress-free, just go out there and do it. So one thing I wish you guys the best on, at a certain point, you're going to have to come over here and try to fish out a ring and all that kind of stuff, and it's just brutal. But that's where I decided, while he was doing that in the background, you can actually pull up your little mini map here, and you can actually work on filling out your tree. So what I am trying to do here, I've decided I want to kind of go for what everybody's calling the Bluetooth Halley method. It just sounds like fun, so I figured, why not? Let's figure out how that works. I know you can add in magic and range, and so I was trying to figure out like what we wanted to do. What I ended up doing is I ended up going just full on in with the melee. Hindsight, looking back, I probably would have not done that right off the rip. You're going to use a few other things early on in the game, so if you're starting off and you don't want to do that mistake, I guess it wasn't a mistake, it was just a choice. I would definitely encourage you to kind of go with either magic or range first. So, but here we go. We finally got it where we can pick up the map of Alacrity. So that is going to give us all the teleports to all these different shortcuts that are around. Now, I will say, if I were you and you were just learning, I'd probably stick with Bank Heist. I think Bank Heist is the one where it just teleports you to banks. Super easy to get around, and I heard people say that, and I thought to myself, it's fine, we can figure it out. The map is totally different than I thought. When you open up the map, it's actually going to take you to where you choose what region, which is kind of nice. It just lists it out there. But then you have to kind of go through each one. So there's multi-step process of trying to find where you want to go. So just something to be aware of when you get there. Again, the reason we chose it is because we did pick Hotfoot, so I was not worried about having to get my agility levels up enough for it. But it does give you a little bit more, and I think it's going to be something that I'll actually have to learn where things are. I did find out over here in Auburnvale. Eventually, that'd be one of my quick bank teleports there, was coming over here to Castoria East. So there's little things that you can find out that'll get you quick bank teleports, but I think there's going to be more value in Bank Heist, which I wasn't going to say because originally I was thinking Evil Eye was the only other option. But looking back, at least now in the early game, I think there's going to be more value to Bank Heist. But map's still a fun one. I think in the late game, I'm going to want that a whole lot more once I kind of figure out the sweat methods, if you will. Or even if I even find time to figure out the sweat methods is a better way to put it. So I figured we keep this one short and sweet today. I wanted to get something out for you guys, so if you are starting again, I didn't want you guys to feel worried about trying to take on something and that you would just play the regular game. It's what I've done in the past, and I've been waiting for this since then. That's why I played Gridmasters, because there's just so much more fun to be had here. We switched it up here. You can see we went back to Magic. Even Magic's getting boosted. We haven't even tacked on any extras yet. So there's enough variety that you guys can do here and just have fun with it. So what we'll do is we will put together our normal videos going forward. That way you guys can see what all we're up to and just live reaction times. But until then, I will catch you guys next time. Shoots!